today. I want to be concise. I want to be, I heard this one time from Major Steele. He said, be concise, be bold, and be gone, is what he said. I really liked it. So guys, what you guys are here for, this is the Road to More Relationships Challenge, okay? And my goal here is to take you from where you're at in your personal and professional relationships and help you quantum leap them, because I believe that life is meant not just to be lived, but it's meant to be conquered, and that includes your relationships. Okay, so as we get this rock and rolling, let me do a quick little check here. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is the quality of your personal relationships? On a scale of 1 to 10, what is the quality of your personal relationships? Please put it in chat. Please put it down below. I'm streaming this in one other place. So got some 7, 8s coming through. I got some 5 to 10, depends on the person. Okay, well, you're doing an average here. So consider that. Consider an average here. I've got some 6s, some 5s, got some 7s, and I got an 8 in there. Yeah, okay, so it ranges. Doesn't look like I have too many people below a 5. The lowest is about a 5. Okay, this is good. This is why you guys are here. All right, now with that being said, whoa, switch this here. What do you rank the quality of your professional relationships? Okay, this is open to interpretation, but it's just to see where you guys are at. Craig said he was at, okay, got you, Craig. Nice to have you on, my man. Chelsea, good. Got some 8s, caught some 9s. I got a 5 in there. 6, 5 to 10, 5 out of 10. Got a 6. Okay, so looks like we may be struggling a little bit more in our professional relationships across the board here, but everybody looks like they're participating and they're buying into what we're about to teach. So when you are at where you're at and you're honest about yourself and you have buy-in to your challenges and to your results, what ends up happening is you can improve them, right? So that's what we're here to do. So really good to hear. Now, guys, as we dive in today, you guys know you all signed up for different reasons. I want to know, why did you come to today's training? Put that in chat. What was your intent? What did you want to get out of this? You know, let me hear what you guys have. All of you probably came for different reasons. Maybe some of you came for the same reason, but why did you come to today's training? What was it that you came here in search of, or you wanted to know more about? And by the way, guys, the more you share with me here, the better of a job I can do for you, because I'm here to serve you. Okay. Okay. I'm reading through some of the answers here. I want to be a better friend, a partner, and a leader. I want to level up my relationships, both personal and in business. I love any tidbits that can help me get better. I love that answer. Always looking for the 1% edge. I'm hoping to learn more about developing and improving my relationships with mentors specifically. Good. Okay. Alex Hernandez over in Fort Benning. I love that. Added info from last night. Yeah, last night we did a bonus call for those of you guys that missed it. You can reach out to myself or the team to get the replay. I want to enhance my personal and professional relationships. Curiosity got my attention. Good. Okay, great, Craig. Well, I'm excited to get to know you more and excited to help you, because what you'll learn about me is that I tend to underpromise and over-deliver, and I go all in. So I'm all in on you today. I'm just here to grow. Okay, good. So you guys are here because you're growth-seeking individuals. That's what I'm picking up. All right. You are a growth-seeking individual and you want to grow. Now, what I want to encourage you to do is set an intention as we dive into today's training. And the reason why is because, have you ever trained cardio without setting an intention? Have you ever ran intervals without setting an intention? Okay. When you run a 400-meter interval and you never assign yourself a pace or a goal that you're working towards, what ends up happening is you kind of take it easy. You don't get as much out of the training. What ends up happening over time, if you continue that, you don't ever actually improve your running speed. You just kind of stay where you're at. Okay. So I want you to come into this training today that I'm going to give you, and I want you to set an intention. You can learn everything, Okay, you can learn all the things that I'm teaching you, but I want you to really focus on the one most important thing for you. Okay, so get clear about it. What is it that you want to do here? You want to walk away and be able to take your marriage from a 3 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10? Do you want to bring somebody into your professional life and somebody that's outside of your reach and you want to be able to text them at any time? What's the specific intention that you're coming here to this training for? I'm going to pause for 10 seconds and let you think about that. And if you're bold enough, I want to hear it in chat. So I'm going to shut up for 10 seconds and I challenge you to put it inside a chat and set your intention. Okay, that was about 12 seconds or so. If you have your intention, please put it in chat. Be able to start new relationships, learn tactics, how to spark new relationships. Good, good. The clearer you can be, the better, guys. So the clearer specificity always wins. All right. So what we have today for today's call, everybody, for today's training, I don't even want to call it a call, it's live training. Day one, we talked about professional relationships, and we talked about how to build a network with those that are outside of your league. We've talked about that already, and I'm gonna give some additional stuff that'll help you guys with those relationships. And then day two, really today, is about your personal relationships. But here's the thing, the stuff that I'm gonna teach you on personal relationships is 110% gonna apply to your professional relationships as well, okay? So you're gonna get strategies for building a world-class network from scratch. And I know because I've done this in my life. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, which you guys are gonna learn about today. And then part two of today, we're going to go into a Q&A with a special guest. And I may have leaked out some of the information on who that guest was. But my wife is going to come in and we're going to share our journey together with you guys. And you guys will be able to ask us questions about how we succeeded as a military couple, in Iraq, to both of us being entrepreneurs and being together. We've had 16 years of our relationship has existed for 16 years and we've survived all those odds. So we're going to talk about that today as well. Okay. So the tools that I'm going to cover today, guys, are specifically how I went from 0 to world-class relationships and how you can too. Like, I have nothing special. What I'm going to break down to you guys is super easy to do. Like, it's simple. Okay. But you got to do the action part. Okay. Because if I can do it, you can do it. I've got a 9-figure plus network. I mean, it's multiple 9 figures. If you were to really add up the net worth of like the people that I know, maybe even closer to I don't want to say $1 billion, but it's a high number. I have a 16-year relationship with my wife. I mentioned that before, both military and entrepreneurs. And not only that, but I've transformed my life and built this reality that I'm living in. And I've brought others with me, which is, I know a lot of you guys have family and friends right now in your life that you feel like maybe you're leaving behind. Okay. And I've been there. And not everybody came with me on this journey, but I have some things that can help you bring those people along. My brothers are now entrepreneurs as well / business owners. Okay. And when I first started off in this space, they all, everybody kind of around me looked at me a little bit weird, but then they all came along. Okay. So I'm going to teach you guys how to help those around you grow as well. So here's some pictures of me. For those of you who don't know me, some people in my life, the relationships that I've built. To the left, top left, is Nick Bear. You guys, many of you know him. He has a $50 million a year supplement company and a personal brand that's to die for, man. He's just done an exceptional job of hard work. He's a former infantry officer. Bottom left is Andy Priscilla. I got a chance to meet and hang out with him a few times. And he's somebody that's taught me tremendously. Chris Patterson up at the top here. Chris was trained in person by Zig Ziglar, very successful entrepreneur. He hangs out with guys like, I don't know, Grant Cardone and Ed Milet. So he's a really exceptional individual. This guy down here below Chris Patterson and myself is Michael Chandler. You guys may know him. He's got the fight with Conor McGregor coming up. He's somebody that I built a relationship with. Nathan Mansfield over here, very successful entrepreneur as well. Luis Garcia down over here, very successful entrepreneur as well. He's did some work with people like Rolls Royce and Tom Bilyeu. And then over to the right, you have these two team fit photos of me. In the bottom right is me as a task force a Ranger platoon leader in a special operations task force in the Ranger regiment. And above that is me training with Kill Cliff Fight Club, which is one of the best, MMA gyms in the entire face of the planet. So pretty phenomenal stuff, guys, that has transformed my life. And I want you to tell me if you can hear this, because this is an important video. I'd love for you to hear. Just say sounds good in chat if you can hear it.
A lot of people will tell you that when your family and friends talk shit on your dreams and they criticize you, that you should cut them off completely. Well, I actually disagree. I don't think that you need to cut people out. I think you just need to get stronger. In fact, I'm living proof that that process is a healthy way to go, because this guy, he talked shit on me quite some years ago, and now both of us are living the damn dream, doing whatever the hell we want. I was not a believer, but you got me convinced. And now look at us. Look at you. This is, look at us now. Great.
Okay, so that I pulled that up because that's a video that I did last year with my brother Jarrett, and he confesses in the video that he was not a believer of my dreams when I first started, and he confesses, "Hey, man, I wasn't, but now I am. This is great." So very inspiring. Yes, Lucas says very inspiring, and that's him over there to the right. We were on the 41st floor of a penthouse, and we were shooting some content and just having a good time together. All right, so I know there's a couple of you guys that don't really know my story, or you're just learning. I'm going to just blow through this because I want to get to the training, but to build some context on who I am and what I've done. What my story is basically one of constant failure, where I came from a small town, and then I got into the 75th Ranger Regiment, became an officer there, and then I became an entrepreneur, and I was featured in TEDx, or I was on TEDx. I got featured in Entrepreneur Magazine and Forbes Magazine, and I didn't pay for either of those or any of those, and I just was able to get in there, and I did, just people pulled me in. So I grew up in a small town, about 300 people. So when it comes to relationships, I really didn't know jack and squat about building relationships. I knew nothing. There was one other kid in my town that was of my age, and we used to hang out, but actually there was two. But I wasn't around a big environment to where I learned how to build relationships. And to be honest, when I first was growing up and was coming up, I had a C player mentality. A C player mentality is, if you think of a bell curve, you have C players as the outlier on the left side, you have the masses, which are the B players, and then you have the A players on the right. The A players are like the top 10% of society. B players are the average people in society. I was on the outside of that. Okay, meaning I didn't really apply myself to my career into life. And I was kind of like just going through the motions. And I was a college dropout and a failed athlete. I went to Iraq at 20 years old, got inspired to go fight in combat during that deployment. I decided to switch from an enlisted engineer to becoming an infantry officer. Okay, I realized that life was fragile, and I wanted to chase a dream. I wanted to become something. I want to make an impact in my life. And so I switched from a C player to A player. I worked really long and hard, but I eventually got my way into the 75th Ranger Regiment as an infantry officer. And it took me about 7 years just to try out for the special operations community. And when I did, I was selected, and I was assigned to the Bad Mothers platoon. That platoon was assigned to go overseas to the Super Bowl, which meant deploying to Afghanistan and doing high value target raids against some people that were some really bad dudes. That was a dream come true for me. Okay. There's a close up of the photo, and here's the whole company, the whole infantry, the Ranger company that I was assigned to, attack company. And then another photo right here of me and some badass mofos. After that, I became a company commander in the conventional army, and I did my 4th combat deployment as a light infantry company commander. And I was kind of wondering what the hell I do next in life. I had a great time with that company, but I was searching. And then what ended up happening is I decided to run a 100-mile race. I signed up for it on a Sunday, ran it the following Saturday, and I finished. And I had this epiphany that I needed to get out of the military and pursue a new dream. It was one of the toughest ultras in the entire United States, okay, because of the altitude. It was out in the Colorado Rockies. But during that race, like I said, something happened to me. It told me to stop chasing this significance and start chasing purpose even more. and I decided to become an entrepreneur. Okay, I took all my skills and I started teaching others along the way. My first day out of the military was January 1st, 2020. Okay, and since then, I've been living my dream. My dream became a reality, and I get to train all over the place, travel around. I'm in Florida right now. I built this network that I've talked to you guys about, and basically get to do whatever I want when I want. Okay. At its core, what I help people with, for those of you guys that are new to me and my story, yeah, I teach leadership. I'm a high performance expert. But really what I do is I help people get what they want. Okay. And I help them do it even faster. That's my specialty. I speed things up. That's my goal, at least. All right. I've worked with people at all different levels. I got people that are in the military over here, like Luna, who's an aviator. I also got Jay over here, who's an entrepreneur and a sales professional. And then I got a 9-figure entrepreneur right here that I worked with, and I helped him out with his business and life. Okay. So that's a little bit about me. Now let's dive into the training, guys. When it comes to your relationships, okay, I know I'm kind of jumping into this abruptly. What I want to say from my personal story as we dive into this is that I come from nothing. I come from nothing. And I'm living this life, and I know you can live it too. You can create this network just like I've created. Okay. Now what I need to do to get you there is I need to know what you feel is like, what's stopping you from having the network and the relationships that you want. Okay. Think about your intent that you set. Listen to me. Think about the intent that you set. You said, I want to get something out of this call, and I want to get something that's going to help me with my relationships. And this is that thing. I want this person in my life. I want my marriage to be better. I want my, maybe I'm just dating somebody. I want that to be better. I want to be a better son, a better daughter. I want to be a better father. I don't know what it is for you, but I want you to focus on it, decide what you want. And now I want to know, what do you feel like is stopping you from actually having that thing? What is it that's stopping you from having the relationships that you want? What do you feel like it is? And this is not a rhetorical question. I'd love to hear it in chat here. What do you feel like is stopping you from having the relationship, the next relationship that you want? Fear. I'd love to know more about that. Not being ready yet. Ooh, I'd love to know more about that. Who else? What's holding you back? Valuing myself, okay? Sometimes not knowing what value I can offer those in a better position than I, as far as mentor-mentee relationship. I would want to be considered a peer. Good. Overthinking is holding me back. Self-esteem is holding me back. Not trusting people to manage themselves. It's interesting. We hit it yesterday. Belief is mine, believing I'm worthy of those relationships, having tough conversations, fear of not being able to bring adequate value. This is good stuff, guys. The more awareness we have, the easier it'll be to solve the challenges. Okay. I learned how to build relationships in the military. That's really where I first started. It's actually kind of funny. I learned that if you wanted something in the military, your reputation is really what helped you get it. So I saw other leaders. One of the first interactions that I had was I was trying to get some stuff from supply. And when I was a new guy, nobody wanted to give me anything from supply. But when I knew the people in the supply shop, they were more likely to give me stuff. Okay. But it's so true, whether it was in the military or in entrepreneurship, I've learned over the years is that if you're going to win a battle, you need relationships. You need a team. And you guys are all at war right now. You guys are all in a battle. You're in a fight. Okay. So I'm going to share the network, the tools that my mentor gave me along the way to help me build my network. Okay. And what I've used, it's not just about me. These tools I've helped others improve their relationships too. Okay. But I just want to speak from a place of experience today. Personal experience, excuse me. So what I want you guys to do is I'm going to change this to 5 to 10 people, but I want you to make a note. You guys should be taking notes right now. And I want you to list out who are the last 5 to 10 people that you talked to, like within this week. Who are they? Just go ahead and list them out on your phone or on your computer. And just say done in chat when you got it. I'm doing this in my head and I'm doing it with you. Okay, I got that person, that person, that person, that person, that person. Got it. Done. Craig. Nice work, Craig. I think you were the first one. Good job. Good, good, good. Done, done, done. All right. Next question here. Next to each of these people, I want you to ask the question, do they give me energy or do they take it away? Okay. Give or take. Do they give me energy or do they take it away? Okay. In other words, when they're around me or they call me or when I think of them, do they take my energy away or do they give me energy? Go line by line. So you got your names. I'm doing it with you. I got the first person that I'm thinking of. Does he give me or take? Give. Next person, give or take. Oof. He takes a little bit, but he gives me a lot more. Next person, give. Okay, boom, boom. Good. Say done again. Just say done once you guys do that exercise there. All right, good. Now, here's the next part of the same exercise. If they were to call you with those same 5 people, would you cringe or would you be excited? Right? Go ahead and put your, just kind of generalize. Would you be mostly excited or would you start to cringe with a couple of them? Okay, good. Cringe. This is honest. Excited. Who here has got some people that they would cringe with? Yeah, good. I know I asked a couple of questions there. Cringe with 2. Okay. I'm creating awareness in your life right now about who's pulling you away and pulling your energy and who's giving you some. So the purpose of that exercise is, what did the exercise tell you about you and your relationships? What did you learn through doing that just now? What did you learn through going through that exercise about your relationships? What did you learn? I have a lot of people around me that excite me. Good. I generally have positive relationships. That's good. Who else has the negative here? Some are draining. There we go. Like Tyler, a lot of my people give me energy. Good. The taker got me negatively excited. The other's positive. I have a good amount of people who I am excited to have around. Good. So if you're like me, what I learned when I did that exercise is I learned that my relationships were good, but they weren't great. I learned that I had some people that were holding me back, people that were sucking my energy, and that the good relationships that I was entertaining, they were good, but they weren't great. I was like, man, that person all give me energy, but I'm not like doing enough to build that relationship even further. So it was a good exercise. Okay. As we keep diving in today, guys, what we're going to dive into is how to build a better network, how to quantum leap your network. And I love this quote right here. It's by Bob Marley. It says, the truth is everybody's going to hurt you. So the people that you have on your list, those people might eventually, even if they gave you energy, they might hurt you in some way. But the goal here is to find the people that are worth suffering for. Right? Many of us suffer for the wrong people, meaning we're suffering for the people that are taking our energy all the time. They're not adding value to our lives. Okay? Think about this. Think about people in your life right now that you're suffering for that you should not be suffering for. You're going through the gauntlet for them for no reason. Okay? We want to clean that up. All right? I'm a firm believer that it's not time or resources that's stopping you from having what you want. It's decision. Okay. I believe it's decision that is stopping you from having the dream relationships that you want, the money that you want, the life that you want, everything that you want. I don't believe it's the resources or time. I believe it's decision that's holding you back. And here's why. I have this model that I love to teach. I love to use from time to time. And it's called the Solven line of decisions. And basically what this shows is that your path to whatever you want to achieve, whether it's a relationship, whether it's money, whether it's a career. It is a destination. And in order to get there, you have to go from where you're at to it. And along the way, you have to make a series of decisions. Okay. In other words, if I want to get in shape, yeah, there's a time factor involved. However, the thing that really drives success and makes me realize that goal even quicker is the micro and macro decisions that I make along the way. Do I go to the gym? Yes or no? Do I eat this meal? Yes or no? Do I have a cheat meal? Yes or no? So the decisions are more of a factor to the timeline to your goal than it is time or resources. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to start focusing on making the right decisions that will lead us to the said goal. Okay. I always like to back this up by saying, listen, time is a factor. You're not going to have a baby in 1 month just by getting 9 women pregnant. Okay. Okay. But the decision to have a kid is what's going to cause it to happen faster. Make sense? Okay. So decision really is key. We need to make the right decision that gets to the goal. So there's 3 strategies that I'm going to break down. They're going to help you quantum leap your results to having the world-class relationships of your dream. Number 1, in order to get from where you're at, think about the goal that you have, right? The relationship that you want. You want to take your marriage from a 3 to a 10. You want to bring in somebody into your life. You want to bring in maybe a big figure. Maybe it's like an Ed Milet kind of guy. You want to bring him into your life. Whatever it is for you, whatever the goal is, think about it right now as we dive into this. And strategy number 1 is that you need a roadmap. You have to have a plan to get to the goal. You have to have some sort of strategy. Okay? Because I often say this, a goal without a plan is a lie. Write that down. A goal without a plan is a lie. A goal without a plan is a lie. Okay? In other words, okay, if a lot of us have like to spend our time daydreaming about what we want, but we don't put the action behind it. We romanticize the daydream. If we're going to build this relationship, we got to put a plan into place. Okay. So you want more love and connection. Tony Robbins, he has these 6 human needs. Every single one of us has these inside of us. We all want more certainty in life. We all want uncertainty. In other words, variety. Okay. Certainty meaning like we want to know that we can progress up a hierarchy in our career. We want a path to victory. Uncertainty, we want to mix it up. We want some variety in our life. We want to travel around, do some Airbnb lifestyle things, right? Like I'm doing right now. We love that variety. All of us want significance. All of us want to be patted on the back and be told that we're doing the right thing. We're doing a good job. All of us want love and connection. That's why we're here on this call right now. You and I are here to build stronger love and connection, not just with one another, but with other people in our lives. Okay. We all want growth. Again, everybody on this call is here for growth. I guarantee it. You guys, most of you confessed to it earlier in the chat. Okay. And then we all want to contribute. We all want to contribute to something bigger than ourselves. Okay. So you have a need inside of you for love and connection. But the question is, if you have that need inside of you, and it is a big need, do you have a plan into place to get there? Okay. So that's strategy number 1 is I need to create a roadmap for my goal. Write that down. That's one of your action steps for today's training. Okay. And we can do some Q&A at the back end on any of this stuff that I cover, guys, but I want to keep going. So number 1, I need a relationship roadmap. All right. Strategy number 2 to quantum leap your personal and professional network and relationships. Okay. Is you got to inflate your tire. Okay. What I mean by that is like you're going from, you as a person, you have many areas of your life that are important. Many areas of life that make you feel full. And if you're not full, if those areas of life aren't complete, you're not going to attract high quality people that have the complete, have areas of their lives that are complete. Okay. In other words, what I'm saying here is that like a person that is hinders society, okay, a criminal, they're not holistically complete. They're damaged goods. right? And so why would a criminal get an opportunity or be able to build a relationship with a high caliber, high quality person? It's not going to happen. So in order for that person to get on the same plane and to get in the proximity of the high quality person, they have to work on themselves. They have to stop doing criminal stuff. Okay. So the wheel of life here is something that my mentor taught me. He said, Jeremiah, these are all the areas that make up you as a human in your life. You have your business, your finances, your health, your friends, your family, you have your romance, you have your personal growth, you have Epicureanism, which is fun, you have your physical environment, and you have your spirituality. And he had me do an assessment on this, and he made me figure out which areas of life that I was neglecting. And guess what? Spirituality was one of the big time areas of my life that was not inflated. So I'm over here running around trying to figure out why nobody wants to hang out with me, but I don't feel complete as a man. I don't feel complete as a leader. How am I going to attract somebody that does feel like that if I don't feel that same way? Okay. So what you guys want to do with this model right here is you want to think about what areas of life that you need to fill up in order to attract the high quality people that you want in your life. So what is it about the people that you want to strengthen your relationship with? What do they have that maybe you're a little bit weaker in that we can put a plan into place and improve it? Okay. So for example, if one of my mentors that I want to get around, he's very religious and I have no religious or no spiritual success at all in my life, that's an area that I want to work on so that I can better connect with him. Does that make sense? Say yes in chat if that makes sense, if you guys are understanding this concept that I'm sharing with you right now. Good, good, good. Okay, good. So now at this point, if it makes sense, you need to have an epiphany. You need to realize, what area of life do I need to work more on so that I can attract a higher caliber person into my life? And I'll recite these real quick and then we'll go to the next strategy. Spirituality. Somebody put these in chat for me. Spirituality, my business/career, my finances, my health and fitness, my friends, family. Next one is my romance. My next one is wisdom or personal growth. The next one is called Epicureanism, but you could just put fun and recreation because that's what it means. The next one is physical environment. But that's the last one, physical environment / materialism. Okay. So what areas of my life do I need to tighten up on in order to attract the high caliber person that I want? Okay. Because how can you, I mentioned it here, how can you expect yourself to match with a high value person if you're not in harmony with them? Now, I have seen it before where you have a criminal, a convict that, actually, I know this guy, Bob Proctor, he went and he used to do these speaking and trainings at prisons, and he ended up connecting with an inmate. And that inmate got released on bond. He wasn't supposed to, but he got released on bond, and he was following Bob Proctor around. He was coming to all of his trainings. So just because you're not in the same area of life as the person that you want in, okay, doesn't mean you can't connect with them if you feel full. That inmate that I was talking about, he was working on himself. And that's what he was working on, the area of growth and personal wisdom. Okay. And through that, he connected with Bob Proctor, who's an expert in that field. You see what I'm getting at? All right. So when it comes to relationships, why I'm telling you guys to focus on this wheel of life, which my mentor gave me, is because everybody is operating on these planes. Okay. What I want you to look at is this graphic here, and on it, there's these lines. Every line represents a level in life. Okay. And for this example, what I'm expressing here is these are levels of your relationships. Okay. Now, I look at them like frequencies, right? So I'm highlighting this one right here. If I want to call somebody, if I want to call one of you, I got your phone number. I can pick up my phone and I can call you. That's one frequency, me matching your frequency and talking to it directly, right? We're in harmony with each other. I can't call somebody who I don't have their phone number. Doesn't work. Okay. But what happens is when I call you, I'm in direct communication with you, meaning I attract you and we're on the same level. Okay. So when you're building a relationship, you want to be in harmony with that person, just like the inmate that I talked about with Bob Proctor. He became in harmony with Bob Proctor and growth. That put them on the same frequency. Okay. So in order to do that, we want to work on ourselves to get on the right frequency as our mentor that we want in our life, or we want to get our relationship up. We need to work on us. We need to bring ourselves up so that the relationship comes up, right? So that we, not so the relationship gets up. So we get on the same plane as the relationship that we want, right? With me? Good. All right. Strategy number 3 to quantum leap your relationships. Okay. What's one of the things that's stopping all of you guys from having the dream relationships that you want, your personal relationship, professional, is this area called the terror barrier. Okay. You got to get through the terror barrier in life. I teach this in my coaching. Okay. A lot, but there's these phases that you go through to get to freedom. You have to break through the comfort zone. Okay. Which is complacency. That guy looks happy, but he's miserable. You break through that and you're faced with the terror barrier. That's where things look crazy. They look hard. They're overwhelming. You talk yourself out of it. Then if you push through that, you get into the pain cave. It ends up being difficult. The work ends up being hard. Okay. And if you keep on that path, sometimes you get to this area, what's called the potential barrier, which means you actually want to quit and turn around. You're tired of trying. But if you keep just trying, you keep going one step further, what ends up happening is you break free and you get to freedom. I went through this exact process to build my network. One of the things I did is I built a relationship with Michael Chandler. I was in the military. I was in the comfort zone. I wasn't really traveling around that much. I had to purchase a ticket to attend one of his fights. I flew out to Hawaii on a single weekend, a 2-day weekend. I was faced with the terror barrier. Man, don't do it. No way, blah, 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 blah. Broke through, got on the plane. It was hard. I bought a cheap flight, had a couple of layovers, flew all the way to Hawaii, was stressed out because of the travel, lack of food. I was in the potential barrier. Hey man, just push through, get to the fight. Watched the fight, sat down, afterwards got connected with them. Boom, freedom. Okay. So maybe you need to take a screenshot of this, but you want to ask yourself, when things get hard, when I'm building my relationships and just in life in general, what do? Do I lean in or do I turn around? Okay. When things get hard, do I bitch, complain, make an excuse, justify? Do you turn around? Okay. So guys, what's your honest answer here as we dive in? As we transition this to part 2, I want to get some feedback from you. When you're faced with hardship, when you're faced with, that something is good for you, but you go the other way, what's your default? What do you do? Or let me rephrase that another way. When you get faced with something that makes you want to go the other way, what do you typically do? Do you go the other way? Do you freeze? Do you lean forward? I see this a lot with sales, actually. So sometimes I do sales in my company, right? And I get people that, man, I want to change. I want to grow. I want to improve. I want to change. And I love your program. I love what you're about. I'm all about it, man. I want to improve, man. Teach me, show me. Let's do it. And then I'm like, okay, let's do it, bro. I think you're a good fit. And then, hey, man, here's the price. Oh, man. Oh, that makes me uncomfortable. I'm like, are you going to go homeless if you pay? No. Are you going to lose? You're not going to have food if you pay? No. Okay. So you just don't want to let go of the money, right? They're like, yeah. You see what they're doing? Pain. They hit the terror barrier. Nope, I can't do it. And they go the other way. Even when they think that it's good for them, even when they think that they know that they could get results doing it. Okay. So you have to be able to objectively look at your life and be like, what happens when things get hard? And you have to get micro on it and look at what happens in my life when things get hard in the area of relationships. What happens in my life when things get hard in the area of my career? What happens in life when I face with hard things in the area of fitness? Okay. Wade says he made that mistake. He leaned into it. He leaned into coaching and his whole life is transformed, health, wealth, and relationships. Right, Wade? We were talking about that the other day. He's like, I don't know if I'm investing too much in myself. I'm like, dude, you've gotten results every step of the way. All right, good deal. I lean in, Lucas says, but I haven't reached freedom yet. Sad face. More reps, okay? More reps. So remember those 3 strategies, guys, that I gave you, okay? You need a relationship roadmap. You need to inflate your tire, and you need to trample the terror barrier. Okay. If you do that, these strategies will set you free. Okay. Now it's time for some action. What I want you guys to do is I want you to start drafting up your dream team, draft up your task force. Okay. So we talked a lot about what our challenges were in the relationships that we want. We created awareness around the relationships that we do want. And we got clear about what where we're at in the process. Okay. In other words, we realize where we're coming up short and what's stopping us from getting the results that we want. So what I want you guys to do next is now that we know what the barriers are, the challenges are, and we have some strategies to get there. Now what we need to do is create a plan. Okay. I mentioned before that you need a relationship roadmap. This is step one of your relationship roadmap. Okay. You need to create a dream task force. What this is that you're going to write out a list of people that you want in your life. A task force is a military term. It's a group of operators that get shit done. They accomplish the mission. Sometimes they're in the Army, sometimes they're in the Air Force, sometimes they're in the Navy, but you put them all together, you call them a task force, and they go out and they win. So what I want you to do is create your personal dream task force. Who do you want on your team? Who do you want in your task force? And what you can do is you can screenshot this right here. This is called a task organization diagram. And what you're going to do is, I've already drafted up for you, but you can change some of these notes if you want. What you're going to do is, this is how, if I had a platoon or a company, I would draw up the task organization, and I would put me, the company commander, right here. And then I would put my platoons down in these boxes below. Okay. So here's you up here at the top. And then underneath you, these are your teams. These are like industries or areas of life that you want help in. And I just went up ahead and drafted some for you. So your finances, your fitness, and your business or your career, those are probably important areas to your life. Okay. So what you want to do now is, you can keep these, and then underneath, go ahead and list out who you want on that team. All right. And if you have a name, put a name. If you don't have a name, that's okay. You just put the type of person. So maybe in your finances, you want an accountant. Maybe under finances, you want a tax expert. I'm not saying accountant / bookkeeper, because not all accountants and bookkeepers are tax experts, right? Okay. See where I'm going with that? And maybe along the way, you think of a certain person's name, you write them down. Right? Same thing in your business, same thing in your fitness. Who I want to help me out in my career. Maybe I put thought leader. There's a thought leader that I know. I put their name there. Maybe I want Jeramiah. Maybe I want Conquer Academy. I want them to help me with my business, my life. You guys know where I'm going with this, okay? And then the last one, I left it blank, so you can plug in whatever area of life that you want to improve through relationships, okay? So maybe this is spirituality. Maybe this is fun. Maybe this is wisdom, okay? But either way, you can pick another area of your life, and you can draft out who you want on your team. Useful? We're going to keep going, guys. Let me know if you got it. Got it? Useful. Got it. Got it. Good, good, good. This is going to be your homework assignment for today. Is you're going to do this, and then you're going to post it in the Facebook group, okay? And I'm going to be watching to see who follows through. All right, moving down. So we talked about, just to recap, we talked about ways to implement or to quantum leap your relationships. Number 1, implement a roadmap. 2, inflate your tire. 3, trample the terror barrier. We're going to get into the next part here. I'm going to bring my wife in, and we're going to do some Q&A and help you guys with your personal relationships on top of everything that I've taught you. For those of you guys that have a timeline to uphold, and you're looking for the next thing, okay, you're looking for coaching, we offer that. So if you need help with the roadmap, if you want to continue past this training and you want to see what it looks like working with me and my guys, we have a free discovery call where you can jump on and get more information. So Tyler, please drop the link in chat, and I'm going to keep going. sometimes, you know, I do these challenges and I do these live trainings. There's always somebody that's been maybe on the fence with working with me. And I've done it before where I didn't give them the opportunity to sign up or take the next step. And I just didn't do the best that I should have done. So I want to include that here for anybody that is on the fence of like, you know what, I want some help. I want to take this to the next level. And the person that's been, you know, they're at that crossroads and they want to go and they want to invest in themselves, but maybe the terror barrier hits and they keep going the other way. You know, this is a great chance for you to jump in if you want to check it out, right? There's no cost to the call. It's free. It's a discovery call to learn more about you and see if we're a good fit. There's the link. Okay. All right. So I promised a special bonus for everybody here. And we, by the way, don't hesitate on that seat, guys, like that spot, if you're going to jump on it. And if you do, please, if you sign up, also message me privately and let me know. I want to know, so I can talk to you. Okay. All right. We're going to do a Q&A on personal relationships next. All right. I know this is a little change of pace. However, it's going to be very valuable. And what I'm going to do is, here's a quick summary, guys, of what's happened to me in my life, right? I mentioned this before. I grew up in a small town. Not only that, the small town, I didn't know how to make friends there. But then on top of that, I'm just like everybody else, where I've had my heart broken before too. I had fear of commitment issues moving in my personal relationships, right? So I had an issue with making friends. I had an issue dating. And not only that, I had friends and family members that talk shit on my path to chasing my dreams. So I've been there. I know what it's like to feel frustrated, alone, and just discouraged from even trying in life and feeling alienated. But listen, like I mentioned before, if you fast forward to my life now, my wife and I just celebrate our 11-year anniversary, right? Say congratulations, right? That's a pretty big freaking win. We've been together for 16 years. Not only that, but we're both entrepreneurs and we both served in the military. I mean, I didn't do the stats on it, the numbers on it, but the odds of us being married right now are pretty freaking thin. Okay. And I mentioned before how my brothers have come along as well, and they've grown with my growth as well. And I think that we've all sharpened each other. Okay. So what I want to do is dive into how me and my wife specifically have grown together over the years and not apart. Okay. And what we're going to cover is stuff that'll help you out with your personal relationships. Right. All right. So Sharice, come on in, guys. You guys, my wife's coming in. So as she does, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay. And I got the chat open here. So guys, say what's up to my wife, Sharice. You spell her name CHYCE, is like that. CHARYC. Sorry.
A bunch of letters.
Sorry.
Hi, everybody.
Details. Yeah, thanks, Tyler. Okay, everybody's making fun of my spelling. All right. I typically don't spell in public or do math in public. So guys, I'm going to start this off with just a little bit about our dynamic and our personalities, and then we're going to do Q&A. So if you guys have a question that you want to ask, go ahead and start by putting it inside of, some of you guys already have stuff that you want to ask, right? So you can just put it straight into the Q&A box. Okay. But here's some, it's just her presence that still takes his breath away. It is just very much that. Thank you, Chelsea. Look at that. That's why I messed up on the words, is because you're just so beautiful. But our personalities, guys, I'm very action oriented, very go, right? I think a lot of people know that about myself. My wife is very much go with the flow, but does have singleness of focus, and she's more flexible than I am. And so I really see us as a yin and yang. Okay. And within that, we obviously have been through all the challenges that a regular relationship goes through. We've gone through problems, arguments, and all that sort of things. And one of the biggest obstacles that we overcame over the years was long distance relationship. You know, we were dating, she was in Maryland, I was in Kentucky, and then I was in California, she was in Arizona. It's just been continuing to be that way. So we've made it work through long distance. But I would say that the way that I approach the relationship is that I really look to Sharice for guidance when I'm feeling like I can't smash down a target. She helps me see the bigger picture. Okay. And then I don't know for you, what do you have any comments on how you see our relationship?
For me, our relationship is an adventure. It's full of, it's been full of ups and downs, but to have a partner that's supportive and that listens to me and that understands me and that strives to understand me better and better every day, like is huge. There's nothing like it.
Do you have any other ways to describe our personalities to them so that maybe it paints a clearer picture?
He's very type A. He's very detail oriented, very, very meticulous. I am much more relaxed than he is.
Okay. How has that caused conflict in our relationship before?
It's caused conflict when you think I'm not being diligent enough about something, or if I feel like you're being too single-minded about something and losing sight of other things that are happening around you.
Yeah, that's good. Do I make you more stressed or less stressed typically?
Typically less stressed.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I trust you.
Okay.
And I trust your judgment. And I know that the things you do and the way that you move in the world is for our benefit.
And then how do you see the way that we run the household together? How do you see us working together as a team? Like, what's the blocking and tackling tasks, and how do we kind of handle that sort of thing in the household?
Can you?
Yeah. So how do we work together as a team in the household, and from your lens?
So Jeremiah likes to take on all of the big problems, all of the big things that are stopping us from getting where we need to be. And I make sure that the road is clear and the smaller things that would take up his time from being able to handle those big things are taken care of.
Okay. So is that useful to kind of paint the picture for you guys with our relationship here? What I'm looking for is, well, I'm not really looking for anything. Let's just dive in. Cool. Beautiful relationship. Yes. Okay, cool. So I got questions coming in. Go ahead and please, guys, if you could, go ahead and start using the Q&A box and I'll start answering your questions. How did you manage those months or years of being physically distant when in the military? Any advice for a new long distance couple?
Oh man. So my biggest piece of advice for that type of situation is to be open and to be communicative with your partner. If you can't talk to your partner about what you're feeling, or when you're feeling insecure, or if you are worried about something, or if you're feeling lonely, like being able to express those things are so important. And it's important for your partner to hear them, because if they don't hear them, closed mouths don't get fed. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. If you don't speak up, you're not going to find any solutions.
Guys, go on. I might have to get them. I'll get them in a second. So that's from Sharice's, and my lens is, or my perspective is, well, in summary, what was yours? It was basically communication, right?
And patience.
Yeah. I think that it's taking to make a long distance relationship work, it's taking the necessary, inefficient next step. Okay. In other words, depending on how long you're away from somebody, you're going to go through different seasons, holidays, birthdays, whatever. And not only that, but even outside of those periods of time, your life has a routine to it. Every month it's going to bring a different experience to you, right? And everybody has this rhythm in life. And along that rhythm, okay, you're going to go to work, you're going to clock in, you're going to come home, and you're going to have this routine, small routine and a big routine, a daily routine, weekly routine, monthly routine, yearly routine. And inside of that, there's going to be opportunities to connect with the person that you're in love with, or that you're trying to build that relationship with. And what I would say is in those opportunities, find the next inefficient step that you could take. Okay. Small example. I met a guy when I was deployed. He did an excellent job of this, Major Steel, right? He was, every time he set his life up so that when he was deployed, his wife received flowers every single month. Okay. She received them on like clockwork, and he had them delivered to her house with a note. Okay. He also set it up so that if he were to die when he was overseas, she would continue to receive them. Okay. Very, very beautiful thing that he did. So what I'm saying is that he took an inefficient next step, which was ordering these flowers and putting them on auto pay. So they were always delivered to his wife while he was deployed. And I thought that was exceptional. Okay. So you want to look for little things like that, little extra next steps that you can take with somebody to really strengthen it. Okay. Any feedback on that, guys, in the chat? Got some brilliant, amazing advice. Good. I love the creativity. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Okay. Moving down is, how do you guys ask the right questions to gain the clarity in your, basically in your relationship? Basically what this person is asking here is, I described how the dynamic in our household works, and Sharice did as well. And we had a very clear picture of how it should work, right? I'll let you go first. So she's saying, how do you kind of figure out, how do you create clarity in your relationship so that you guys work together?
By understanding your partner. Take the time to get to know them so that you can work together more efficiently.
What does that mean?
Let me see how.
Well, like, what's a time where maybe we weren't working together smoothly and we didn't have clarity?
Probably after your, not your last deployment, but the deployment before, when we were in Washington.
Okay. So then we had this time in our life where we didn't really have the best, or the household wasn't optimized. We didn't have a great team dynamic. We were existing together, but it wasn't as strong as it is now. How did we create clarity so that the relationship in our roles in the house, in our duties, responsibilities, and how we're going to support one another? What happened after that created clarity so that we were then moving together in the relationship?
We each had to get really clear about what we wanted and how we wanted our relationship to look. Having that picture gives you the goalpost. And if you have the goalpost, you can then start to map out the steps to get to where you want to be.
That's a strong point that she just said, and I don't have any other additional comments with that. What we did is we both used our imagination to figure out how we wanted the relationship to unfold and how we wanted to be inside of it. And then we talked about that. Okay. And so what that looked like is the example that she gave earlier about, hey, I'll handle all this stuff that's bogging you down and it's bogging the household down. I'll be out there with like a machine gun, just shoot all that stuff. You'd be more like a sniper, right? You go for this, go for this. And that came from us both picturing how we wanted the household to work together and then talking about it. Okay. Good. Next question. How do you navigate the tough times, especially when emotions are running high? Yeah. So how do we work through tough times when they happen? And tough times can mean a lot of different things. Sometimes you're going through tough times where a family member passes, or maybe work's not going your way. And let's just focus on work not going your way, because I think that's the simplest thing to kind of dive into here. So how do we as a team get through, let's just use work first, and then we'll do maybe something personal. When work's not going either of our way, how do we, navigate through that? What's your role in that, and how do you?
We both show each other a lot of compassion. When things aren't necessarily going the way we want them, it's easy to get frustrated with things that are happening in your business, things that are happening at work. But we're very compassionate towards each other, and we also give each other space to feel our feelings. We don't make it like, oh, you don't be unhappy. I'm here with you. You know, you have to be happy because I'm here. Like I let him feel the way he feels, and it's okay for him to have those feelings.
That part I think is huge. When I started off in our relationship, I had I'm the problem solver mentality. I thought it was my job. If she had a problem, I'm supposed to help fix it. And that actually backfired. It created more arguments because not only was it not my responsibility to solve her problems, but it almost like disempowered her. Right. And that's not really right to do. What I learned to do is yeah, I listened, but it was more, I ask deeper questions, like be more present with what's going on with her life. And just understand, like listen to understand. Even if I don't get it. Okay. Like here's an example. If she were to be pregnant, right? The worst thing that I could probably do is try to relate to what she's going through. I'm not going to be able to understand that. So I think it's important that when you are listening to your partner, your spouse, whoever, that you listen to understand, but not to relate. Okay. Like I don't necessarily have to relate all the time. I just need to be there and make her feel heard. And I don't need to solve all the problem. I just need to help her. And I can ask too. Hey, are you looking for solutions or are you just looking to express yourself and talk? Okay. See what I'm saying? I like to ask that question sometimes when I catch myself. Are you looking for solutions or are you just speaking for me to listen? Right. And you got to make sure you're not, that the delivery is right on that, because you could really say it in the wrong way. Okay. Good questions. Anybody else got stuff that they want to ask before we keep going and then we take it in for a landing? Final call for questions on Sharice and I. One of the most common answers or questions that I get, I have to address this on today's call, is how have you, like it's basically along the lines of how have you guys grown together and not apart? Especially when you have two different personalities. Okay. I run across this a ton, especially with entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs are already on a different wavelength and they're like a high achiever. And sometimes you have one person in the relationship that's not thinking like an entrepreneur and one person that is, and they clash. Okay. But what we've done is we've grown together across time. Right. And we have different personalities. So how is it that we've continued, from your lens, how have we continued to be our own person and grow together in the relationship?
I think that a big part of it is the compatibility of our morals and our goals. We have, and I see we have a question down there that kind of ties in with this, but we're very different as far as personality styles and the things that we like and the things that we enjoy, but we make space for one another, and we also make space for ourselves.
Yeah.
Which is really important. It's you never want to get so caught up in a relationship that you lose sight of who you are. You don't want to be Sharice and Jeremiah. You want to be Sharice and Jeremiah together, but not one single plop.
Yeah. Did you say that?
I did.
My comments on this are the thing that we have done to grow together and not apart over the years as two different people. Okay. Well, two different personalities, is that we've both taken a lot of time to continue to learn about the other person. Like big time. Like we're literally like 16 years. You would think that there's no stone unturned, but we are both still learning stuff about each other. Like it's infinite. So if you think you understand your person and maybe you understood them you didn't know them at the beginning and you started to understand them a little bit, and that caused you to get the relationship with them, and then you stopped trying to understand them even further, you're probably failing in your relationship right now. Okay. because I know in times in my life where I stopped being intrigued, stopped being interested, was when the relationship got the rockiest. So I think that's what we've done the most over the years, is try to figure out, because it's like your body changes across time, right? Like when you're an 80-year-old man, you don't operate the same as when you're 20, you change. And so I think there's always room to learn more about the other person. All right, next question. I got 2 more. Any differences in what you do for fun, extroversion or introversion? So yeah, what do you do for fun?
I'm a hardcore introvert. I'm a homebody. I like to hang out at the house, read books, watch movies, spend time with the dogs. Jeremiah's also an introvert, surprisingly enough, but he enjoys going out and doing things more often than I do. But I like to go along with him and support him, and I end up having fun because I enjoy his company.
Yeah, my fun is doing. Like I just like to do. I like to be alone and do. That's my favorite thing. Like put me on a trail somewhere. Let me go scuba diving. I don't care what it is. I'll just do it alone and I'll just enjoy the hell out of myself. I like one of the things that brings me a lot of fun and enjoyment is when I bring her along to do things and she does it for the first time. I love giving her new experiences. So whether it's jujitsu or new food, or travel, it's like, I don't mean this to sound, I mean, all of us have been through stuff where you got a new experience and it was great, like a Christmas present, right? But you know, when you take a kid and he does something for the first time and they all light up, it's like that with her. You know, I like seeing that kind of shit. Makes me happy. Okay, so how do you work through 2 different, oh, hold on. Back onto your point about the doing what you do for fun. I would say the lesson that I've learned with fun is that you have to there has to be balance there. Because if I get fun out of doing and working and building the business and helping others and all that type of stuff, well, then I'm not giving her the fun that she needs. Right. And that's not fair. You know, that's not balanced in the relationship. So there's got to be that balance there where she's getting what she wants for fun. I get what I want for fun, and we do it back and forth. Okay. How do you work through 2 different businesses and moving to new locations? Well, I'll go first on this one, and then you can jump in. I would say this is an area where we're not exceptionally strong at, but we're working on collectively. So what ends up happening is we work on 2 businesses. Sharice has helped me out tremendously in mine because mine's remote, really easy to do. Hers is more in person. However, we do go back and forth on ways that we can support each other, where I'll even promote her stuff sometimes. And I don't ever do it because she asks. I do it because I think that she's a great dog trainer. I think she's exceptional at her business. And I love showing off my dogs. So the way that we work through 2 different businesses, we try to find areas that we can support each other with the skills that we have. Like me, marketing is the way that I can help her out the most in her business, right? Like if I show a video of the dogs, people start to lean in on my dogs and start talking about it. And then if you're a customer of mine, chances are if you have a dog, you've thought about working with Sharice, right? So it actually works really well. And I think that we just kick ideas around with each other and we figure out what's the most important thing to work on. And then we align ourselves with that.
Yeah. For me, being able to assist you in your business has been huge and keeping us close while we're both working on separate things. It's really interesting to live, work, and play together. But he's super great about promoting my business, as he mentioned, and letting me bounce ideas off of him has been really helpful as well, because he's super insightful and it makes a big difference for me. Like if I'm stuck somewhere, he always gives me that little extra push that I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can do this, maybe I can work through this, maybe I can figure out this issue and find a solution.
Yeah, good questions, guys. Good stuff. All right, shifting gears. If there is any other stuff that you guys have, we can jump it over to you can put it in the Facebook group and we can answer it there. There's a couple other small things that I'm gonna cover with you guys. I think that, let me just share my screen here. So I want to know from today's training, guys, what was your biggest takeaway? You had to think about, or a big takeaway. It doesn't have to be the number one, but let's hear about it. This is a check on learning to see how well we did and what you guys gained from this investment of time into yourself and your relationships. What was a big takeaway for you? Let's hear it and just put it in chat. Any last things for them as they're writing their takeaway? Anything that you would give them to help improve their personal relationships?
Don't stop working on yourself and get to know yourself. The better you know yourself and what you want and what you're looking for, the more self-aware you are, the easier it's going to be to connect with someone.
That is so true. And that goes for all relationships, ladies and gentlemen. All of them. Like, if you really want to connect with people, if you want your personal relationships, like maybe you're in one with a wife, a husband, whatever, or you got a thought leader in your industry that you want to be around, the solution is working on you. And what working on you actually looks like, it means you identify your weaknesses and you figure out a way to improve upon them and you put a plan into place. Okay, I can't stress this enough. You have to have a plan into place to improve on yourself. So if you know your fitness sucks, what's your plan? If you know your business isn't going the way it should go, what's your plan? If your career, if you're trying to, and maybe it's going okay, but you're trying to like achieve, you do something extraordinary. Do you have a plan to get extraordinary results? Or are you trying to get extraordinary results with an average plan? Let me say that again. Are you trying to get extraordinary results with an average plan? Okay. So focus on building yourself and implement that extraordinary plan. All right, key takeaways here. A goal without a plan is a lie. That was my biggest takeaway. Alex Hernandez, I think is your last name, right? Good. Alex, have you connected with Conquer Academy yet? If you Conquer, please message him and you guys get each other's social media. I want to make sure that we're supporting him the best way possible. Megan says, oh, I missed her. Driving big of who I want on my team. Oh, dreaming big of who I want on my team. Good. That was my big takeaway. I really like that. I learned that my biggest takeaway is to continuously learn about my partner, like keep learning and being interested in my partner. Yes. Good. Luca says you need to have a plan for building relationships. Got to enhance the plan to point B. Yes. I need to think about my dream team. Oh, and then Landon also says, think about the feeling you want to give the person you want to connect with. Yes, that was from yesterday's training. That's really good takeaway. All right, good deal, guys. Really good stuff. For your homework, guys, the task force, you're going to do the task organization sheet. And you're going to fill that out. Okay, let me actually go right here. Do I have it here? Yeah. Nope, let me go back up one. Here's the homework, right? Create your dream task force, post it in the Facebook group. So you can screenshot that, post it up in there, and that's your challenge. Now, here's an additional challenge for those of you guys that want one more thing to improve your. Okay, Alex Henderson said he was trying to use the link that we gave him, but he got an error button. Thanks for clearing that up. The team will take care of you. Tyler, make sure you guys hook him up, okay? All right. What you guys can do to take your relationships to the next level. You want to level yourself up. Remember what Sheree said. She said, if you want to improve the quality of your relationships, you got to work on yourself. Okay. Remember, come on, let me move this. So what I want you to do to work on yourself is you need to know what your weaknesses are. So what you can do is you can find somebody in your life, somebody that you want to build a stronger relationship with, and ask them to rank you on a scale of 1 to 10 on how you're doing in the relationship with them. And so that'll look like this. Hey, Sharice, I'm doing this homework assignment for this challenge that I'm in.
Yeah, babe.
Yep. You know, I'm always working on myself.
Yeah.
And I need to know if you had to rank me on a scale of 1 to 10 for how I'm doing as a husband, what's the ranking that you give me?
I'd say a 9.
9.
A 9. There's always room for improvement.
Okay. So
There's
you're
always
gonna
room for growth.
so you're gonna hear things like that, right? They're gonna give you the answer and they're gonna give you some feedback. And then your follow-up question is you tell them to give you some constructive criticism to become a 10 out of 10. So if I wanted to be a 10 out of 10, not a 9 out of 10, and I want to do it the next 30 days. Okay. This isn't like eventually, this is the next 30 days. What do I have to do to go from a 9 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10? If I had a checklist type of thing.
Buy me tacos and tell me I'm pretty.
Done. All right. Well, we're gonna finish that combo offline, but you guys see the thing there. So you're gonna get responses. Sometimes people you have that person that's like, you're a 3 out of 10. You never do anything right. You have a person that says you're an 8 out of 10. You can always do better. And then you have that person that's like, you're a 10 out of 10. You're always doing great. Okay. No matter what they say, you got to word it in a way that causes them to give you feedback to improve. So if they say you're a 10 out of 10, all you got to do there is you say, okay, well, what do I got to do to become a 12 out of 10? All right. And if they say, hey, you're an 8 out of 10, there's always room for improvement, just like I did. Hey, okay, well, what can I do in the next 30 days to bump it up to a 10 out of 10? Right? You see how I'm phrasing it? So just get specific with it. Okay. And I'd love to hear you guys post about it on Facebook. All right, guys, that's it for the training. Appreciate you all. And I look forward to seeing any comments about your takeaways inside of the Facebook group. It's the Science of Dream Achieving. That's the Facebook group. Post your homework up in there and I'll come in and give you some feedback and love to see you guys there. Sharice, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Hey, it was great being here. It was great to see you guys.
All right, everybody, conquer all.